going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today we've got something a little different than normal, kind of the same. We are talking about the loadout that I carry when I am deer hunting. So this is going to be separate from all my everyday carry stuff. Typically I carry the majority of that stuff with me, so I still have my knife, I got my light, carry my gun typically, my wallet, phone, all that stuff. All that goes with me when I'm hunting. It's part of my everyday. So we're going to go through the rest of it. So this is really going to be my bag, my bino harness, and then what I use to hunt with. Let's just get into it. We'll walk through what I've got. Hopefully this gives you an idea of some equipment that you guys could use. And with that, let's talk about it. Oh, and we're also outside today because we're talking deer hunting, and I don't see a reason why not to be outside and doing it. So first thing up we will talk about is my binocular harness. This is the Eberlestock Recon. This is their modular system, and I've got their just regular pouch, and I've also got the rangefinder pouch on this guy. I really like this setup. It's really easy to put on. Just goes right over my head. Just snaps right on. Really nice and easy. It's very comfortable. It sits in a nice spot. It's honestly a nice place to put my arms when I'm working. So they make stuff to go here on the bottom. I don't have anything to attach to it. I might get their hand warmer that goes in there. They also have like a pistol holster that might also be useful for me. We'll start on this side because it's easy. Over here we have our rangefinder. This is a Vortex. I'm in love with you. I don't remember which Vortex this is, but this is a Vortex rangefinder. Might be the Diamondback. I think that's the version I've got. So that's on this side. I've got it on this side so that if I'm holding my crossbow or something like that, I can pick this up, range or something. It also means that if I'm working with a gun, I can have my arm out here, or if I have my crossbow, same thing. I can keep the weapon in my hand and pull this and look. Here in the middle, obviously we have the main harness, and I run 8x42 Vortex Diamondbacks. These are really good binoculars. I'm a big fan of Vortex. I really like their stuff. They're American design and everything. Nothing too special about them. They've served me really well. I've got the 8s instead of the 10s. The price jump between 8 and 10 is significant enough that the extra zoom that you get is not really worth it. 8s are perfect. There's nothing here in Ohio that I'm going to be looking at that I need anything better. Over here on this side, I've got, like I said, their little mini pouch. Right now, what I've got in here is my can call. And I'll be honest, I don't know if I like it in there. It's a little tucked high for me to get to really easily. I find myself just kind of throwing it in a pocket instead. It's nice to know that it's nice to have it here because then I always know it's here. So I really haven't decided all what I'm going to be storing in this. On the side here, I have some pepper spray. This is made by Here in the Future. Palm actually sent me out some of their units. This is their little keychain version 1. And they sent me these to take a look at. We're actually doing a video here soon talking about some of their products and talking about why it might be a good idea for you to add OC spray to your everyday carry. So keep an eye out for that if you're interested. In the front pocket here, I have my paint, my face paint. I don't particularly like face masks. They bother me. I'm always tugging on them. So the textile of it, I think I have an issue with. So I do keep some face paint in here. Allows me to be able to make my face blend in a lot easier when I really don't want to be wearing a face mask. That's it for this chest rig. Like I said, it's super comfortable. I really like it. I originally was just carrying the Vertex one that came with these binoculars, but those fold from the front over the back and you can't tuck the top down. So I was finding that it was getting in the way a lot. So being able to open this all the way up in the front and leave it open when I'm sitting in the tree is really nice. That's it for my bino harness. We'll talk the rest of my clothing next. For light days, I'll just wear regular camo pants. I'm not wearing them right now because they are covered in blood. I wear a scent lock jacket, just a lightweight version for this time of year. Basically up until like the middle of November, after Thanksgiving, when it starts to get really cold, is when I'll switch over to like a heavy duty jacket or a heavy duty coat. But this time of year, just pants and this is fine. I'll throw a hoodie on underneath this, kind of layer for everything. Next, really quick, we're just gonna talk harnesses. I've got a harness from Muddy. I highly recommend this harness. It's really easy to put on. I've got the harnesses that come with the tree stands that are just like the nylon strapping. Those work fine. You don't need to go buy something like this. However, I will say I did buy this because putting on those other ones in the dark stinks. They're super hard to put on. You can't tell which one's the arms, which ones go around your legs and everything. They're just a pain in the butt. I didn't like putting them on. So I went ahead and just bought a nicer harness where I can very clearly see this is my belt. These go over my shoulders and then strap around my legs. And I can inspect it really easily. I can tell what is supposed to be what and keep track of everything and just kind of do a yearly inspection on this. In addition to that, I want to talk to you guys about why it's important that you wear a harness when you are in the tree stand. I'm sure if you are a hunter and you know other hunters, you know of somebody who at least knows of somebody who has fallen out of a tree stand. And this can be horrific. This can kill you, possibly. Especially if you are a public land hunter, you are walking in, 2-3 miles from your vehicle, you fall out of a tree where there's no cell service, you're kind of stuck there. There's nothing you're going to be able to do. So making sure that you are safe and secure is very important. It's not worth your life. It's not that hard to put one on. Just clip yourself in. They're not that expensive. Like I said, you get free ones with most tree stands these days. Here in the past couple of years, I knew of a guy who he fell out of his tree stand face first. He was actually with his son. His little kid was with him, and he was just behind his house. He fell face first out of the tree stand before he got clipped in, and fell, shattered his arms, crushed his face, was in the hospital for a really long time. He made a full recovery, so that's good, but be honest with you, that kind of really impressed on me why it's so important to wear one. So since then, I try to make sure that I've always got one, and we've actually got ropes that go up the trees now, so you're clipped in from the ground all the way up, and you get to the top, and you transfer from the rope to the tree strap. Anyways, that's just a little PSA for us to talk about some safety things to think about while you're hunting. Into the bag. This right here is the Eberlestock Bandit. For a really long time, I carried just a little sling bag I bought off Amazon. That worked okay. However, I found when I was packing in with anything more than just the bag, it was a pain in the butt. It got up on my neck. The sling bag would kind of cut in, make me really uncomfortable. Eberlestock was having a sale. This was part of their outpost? No, what do they call that? Overstock. It was with their overstock. They were getting rid of this camo color. I don't see why. Maybe it's not that popular. I happen to really like it. This is their Mirage. As you can see, they are matching. I bought these at the same time. I digress. So I went ahead and I picked up one of these. This bag has been fantastic. I've taken it on a couple of hunts this year so far. It is new for 2025 for me. Yeah, 2025. So far, it's worked great. Been really happy with it. And I still have space inside of this, whereas with the other one, the sling bag, I didn't. It was packed out completely. I couldn't take anything extra with me. So we'll just walk through what's in here real quick. Top pocket here. There's not a whole lot in here. I've got gloves in my pocket right now that from the last time I was hunting were in this jacket. Those, honestly, typically in the top here. I use this as a dump pouch. When I go out there, I'll put my camera in here. Sometimes I take night vision with me when I'm walking into the woods just to sit and look. If I'm taking that goes in here. This is just a quick catch-all for any kind of gear that I want separate from everything else, and I don't want to have to dig for it. So, like I said, my camera, if I'm taking that and I'm trying to film, which we're going to be trying to film some more hunts this year. I did already get a buck this year If you follow me over on Instagram at guns_gear at guns_gear_the great outdoors, you guys can see a picture of that buck that I got. I did not get a chance to film that. I had my camera with me. It was all set up. Could not hit play. Guy stepped right out and just couldn't make the shot, or could not get the camera started and make the shot. I picked making the shot, obviously. So we're working on it. You know, we're kind of new to the whole filming hunt thing. So I'm probably going to film some of my buddies hunting, or like my brother-in-law or my dad, something like that. Also, up in the top here, I do have a tourniquet. I don't have a dedicated medical kit for this bag as of yet. I'm working on that. That is something that needs to be added to this, and it will probably be strapped somewhere on the outside of it so I can get to it super easily. But that's really all that's in the top right now. Not a whole lot. I'm not a long distance hunter. I'm normally not that far from my truck, so I'm not packing in super deep. I'm not up in the mountains hunting for elk or anything. So this bag's not super heavy. It's really just so that I don't have to go find all my gear or like have it all in my pockets. It's just a very easy place for me to put everything. This also allows me to take like water and everything with me into the woods. I like to be comfortable. What can I say? So if we open up this big pouch here, right now it does stop right here when it comes open because of this. But if you unclip the two sides here and here, this whole front will come all the way open. I don't really want to do that right now, so I'm going to put it back together. But so like I said, this comes open. This front section right here is Velcro. It's the soft side of hook and loop, so you can Velcro stuff in right here. I might do some pouches at some point. Then on the inside, I've got some gloves for processing a deer in the woods. These are shoulder length, so they come all the way up to here. They're gauntlets, so that I'm not getting blood all over my jacket and everything. I definitely failed in that this year. I've got blood basically from right here up, splattered. Other stuff that I've got in here, I do have my camera arm. This is just a really simple one from Amazon. HME is the brand. It's really simple. There's not a whole lot to it. It's pretty light overall. I'd like to get one that has a pivot point back here, because I found, even just trying to set this camera, that I just don't have a lot of options for it. But for now it works. We're gonna figure out what we need, and we will get better equipment as time moves on. So that's what goes in this pouch over here. And on this side, you do have a really big, deep pouch. And on this other side, you've got some more organized pouches coming down and through. So over on this side, first thing you're gonna see, obviously we have a grunt call. It's really generic. Actually got this from a family member of my wife's who died, who was a hunter, and nobody wanted any of his stuff, and this was in that. So what it says on it, if you guys can see, it's mad. I'm a level with you. I don't know what that is. Sounds pretty solid. I've been happy with it so far, so no reason to get a new one up to this point. Over here we also have a generic knife. This has a regular blade, and the real reason that I have it is for the mini saw. As part of it, it makes it so I can cut through some branches, some thicker stuff, you know, stuff that's inch in diameter. And then the third thing I have over here is a fixed blade knife. This is the knife that I use for gutting the deer out in the field. This is a knife by Mora Knives. Really solid blade. This I bought back when I was in college. I think it was like 12 bucks. I've gutted a dozen deer, I think, with it over the years. Really cheap, really good Swedish knife. These guys, if I remember correctly, the story for them is they bought a razor company, and then they didn't have to buy any of the equipment then to be able to produce knives. So they were able to make really sharp quality knives for pretty inexpensive. So if you need a good field knife, highly recommend them. Can't go wrong with it. I would recommend not getting a green one, get an orange one, because then when you drop it, you can find it. I've lost this thing every time I've ever cleaned a deer. You'd think I would put like orange on it like I did with my inhaler. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's kind of ridiculous that I've never done that. So we're going to be doing that here soon, is putting some orange duct tape on this so I don't lose it. In this big back pocket here, I keep two things. Obviously, we're going to have doe and rut, doe pee spray. This works really nice for spraying on your boots before you walk in. I've had bucks follow me when I had this on my boots. Last year, I was walking out into the field with night vision, and I could hear something behind me, and I'm just walking across the field, and I turn around, and there's this little, probably a little fork, following me through the field, walking the exact path I had been walking, sniffing the ground, following my boots. He couldn't see me quite yet because he was on the other side of some weeds. But that was kind of cool to be able to see it in action that close. And of course, obviously, I've walked paths and then had bucks walk right behind me in them. So works super well. Highly recommend it. This is just Tinks. I don't know. I buy it at Real King. I just buy whatever they have, to be entirely honest. I don't think it matters that much. Then we have a lens cleaning cloth for all of the scopes. Whether I'm hunting with a crossbow or I'm hunting with my rifle, I want to be able to clean my lenses, or even for my binoculars, I want to have something to be able to clean. So I keep that in here. I also keep hand warmers because I don't like being cold. My hands, I don't like them being chilly either. A lot of times when winter comes around, I have one of those camouflage like things you can stick your hands in. I wear that when it starts to get a lot more chilly. Those go inside of that, keep me nice and toasty, keep it so I've got dexterity all the time. Next thing, which these are actually new to this bag since I had more space, is a pair of clippers. These are really good for clearing little sticks when you're up in the stand if you've just got little branches to be able to cut. Everybody who's a bow hunter knows that the enemy of an arrow is a twig that is smaller than your pinky, because if your arrow hits that, it's going to divert. You're not going to get your deer. You're going to miss. It's going to deflect your arrow enough that that state record buck is going to go running into the distance, never to be seen again. So we're not going to have that happen. We're going to cut all the little sticks. I obviously carry a face mask. Like I said, I do have the face paint, but I do have a face mask with me. When it gets cold out, this is kind of nice. It's just something over top of my face. I like to have options, all right? I don't like to stick to one thing. I like to be able to change things up if I need to. Next, I have my crank for my crossbow. We'll talk about the crossbow here in a minute, but this is always in the bag. That way I'm not without it. Last thing you want is to get up in your tree stand if you're a crossbow hunter and realize that you don't have your crank and now you just are hanging out in the woods by yourself. And that's it. That's pretty much everything that I keep in this bag. There's not a lot of stuff. Some extra stuff does end up in here over the year as I decide that I need this because it's cold, or this, that, and the other. Like when it gets really chilly out, most of my cold weather gear will end up in here. All of my like stocking caps. I've got a nice thick fleece buff that I put in here. More hand warmers will end up in here. Probably sometime next year we will have a med kit in it. So just general things that I find useful while I'm hunting. This is not a 100% defined kit so far. This is kind of a ever-growing, ever-evolving system. As I hunt more in my life, as I get a little bit older, I'm finding things that I find useful, different pieces of equipment and everything. And especially as we're getting more and more into this whole YouTube thing where I'm going to be filming hunts, the need for a bigger bag seemed to make sense. So really quick, some other quick features about this guy. I don't remember what the leader size is on it, but as you can see, when I put it on, cinch it up, it's nice and compact on my back. It's not going to be sticking out to the sides, getting caught on anything. It's just a really good sized bag for like a day hunt. It's not going to be good for packing out meat. There's no pockets for that or anything. But for you to get in and then be able to walk back out with it, it's great. It does have some rigidity into the back here. It's not like a hard skeleton on the inside, but it does have kind of a stiff panel back here to keep this thing with its have its form, which helps a lot when you're walking. It's got nice thick padding on the back, so you've got good air channels, so you're not going to be sweating to death with it on. Now let's talk weapons. My main weapon of choice is the Centerpoint Wraith 430. Really good crossbow, super compact. It's fairly light. As the name implies, 430 feet per second. I can attest that at 30 yards, it will just blow straight through a deer. That's what happened to me this year. Never found the arrow. No idea what happened to it. So, one really cool feature about this guy is actually the horn, I think is what it's called. It folds all the way around so that depending upon where you want it, you've got 3 positions you can put it in. You have to have it all the way out when you are loading the bow. Then you can put it either down like this to kind of give yourself some stability, or all the way down. I have a tendency to leave it out like this, and then I will tuck in here, and I will actually take this and grab the rail of my deer stand, depending upon if that's how it all works out, and that puts me in a very nice position to be able to hold really tightly, because then I can take all this pulled into my shoulder. It's kind of a nice little thing. It also works as a nice bipod if you're on the ground. If you're a ground hunter, you can just lay down on the ground. I got a buddy who, that is how he killed his first deer ever, was he just laid in some brush with his bow in that configuration and killed his deer. Did great. I think it was a little doe. Moving on to the arrows real quick. I only have 2 of them left, so the arrow itself will probably change next year because I'm almost out of arrows. So, but this year we're hunting with Headhunters custom carbons. These are 20 inchers. Try to roll this around so you can see. 20 inchers. There's the information for them. Broadheads, we do use mechanical broadheads. The name of these is escaping me. I will put it somewhere up here if I remember it. I'm not a big gun hunter. Ohio's only got a week and a weekend for deer gun season. So really the past 2 years has been the first time I've hunted. So this is the rifle we're gonna be running this year. I'll show you guys really quick. Gun is unloaded. I really like bolt actions. I'm a huge fan of them. I like running them, especially when I'm hunting. I know a lot of people like to have kind of moved to the AR platform when it comes to it, but I'm a huge fan of the bolt gun. This is a Mossberg Patriot chambered in 350 Legend. I have it in an MDT LSS chassis. Need to change out this buttstock. It's a little too long, and as you can see, because of this weird little nub right here, I can't really get my hand in here properly, so I end up holding the gun like this, which is fine. But it also makes it so my scope is really far back because of how long this guy is. And my cheek well is in a weird position. I need to reconfigure the back end of this guy, but it'll work for now. Gun is kind of heavy for what it is because of the aluminum chassis. However, like I said before, I'm not a pack-in super far hunter, at least not currently. And I'm not gonna be doing that with this. For Deer Gun Week, I stop in places at 5, 4:30, something like that. And then I hunt for the last hour or 2 of the day. So I have mine built out with a bipod because the way that I've been hunting has been on the ground. Like I said, I walk in, I'll just get in some brush, hang out that way, and that is how I have been gun hunting. And then normally like one weekend, and then when the weekend comes, I'll hunt for one time, sit in the tree stand, so I'm not set up super heavily for that. Scope-wise, we have a Burris Veracity PH 2.5 by 12. This is Burris's relatively new scope, I think. This is one that's got that little heads-up display inside of it, so the top knob here does not click, it just kind of rotates. I haven't used it a whole lot. I actually need to re-sight this gun in before gun week gets here, because I just put this on like a month ago, which is why it is not painted. I had to reconfigure some stuff. But we're going to give that a try, and I'm going to let you guys know what I think of it and how well it runs. Oh, so the only thing that I don't have out here right now is my compound bow. So now we've killed our buck for the year. I am going to be hunting with a compound bow from here on out. So we're going to try to get our doe with that. This is really the first year I've been doing that. I grew up hunting with a crossbow because it was way easier and way cheaper to hunt with that than to buy a bow that I was inevitably going to grow out of. And then I've just kind of always stuck with that. But I was able to pick up it's like a 20-something-year-old bow. It's a Hoyt. Bow runs great. I've got no problems with it. I'm consistent at 20 yards with it, so it's a solid bow overall. You don't need anything fancy. You don't need to go buy the newest or latest and greatest. You can buy a pretty good bow that it would have been the flagship 10 years ago, 20 years ago. That was $700 for like $100, and that's perfectly fine. I highly recommend that that's what you do if you are on a budget. Go to a pawn shop, buy a Matthews or a Hoyt from 20 years ago. Put a good sight on it and run with it. Learn your basics, get really good with that, and then move into something that's a lot more expensive. Decide what you're going to like with it. Because bows are expensive. I mean, I think flagship bows these days are what, $2,000 or something close to that. So it's way better just to run something that's a lot less expensive. But anyways, I digress. The sun is beginning to set. It is a beautiful day out here in Ohio. And I think that's going to do it for us today, you guys. So I really want to appreciate all of you who stuck around for the whole video. I really appreciate it. Go down in the comments and tell me your best hunting story. I want to hear about the best hunt you've ever been on. Whether something crazy that happened or just the biggest deer you've ever gotten or just a great memory with a family member. For me, that's what hunting has always been about. It's always been time for me to spend with my dad, especially here now that I've gotten a little bit older and I'm not living at home anymore. I'm really, truly appreciating the time I'm spending in the woods by myself and also with him. So that's been kind of a really neat thing as I've been getting older. But anyways, that's enough rambling from me. Once again, thank you all for watching. Remember, the best way to support the channel is to go buy some merch. We have the 2 options of the end of season monster shirts out now. They're super comfortable. I really like them. I like the blank that I chose for it. It's really comfortable. It's a good shirt. It's a little bit heavier weight than some of the other ones. So once again, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, and send this to a buddy who is a hunter who might like to pick up some new gear. Anything that I could link down in the description, I will. I believe Eberlestock has some big sales going on here at the end of the year, so keep an eye out for that. I'll probably be doing some posts about that on Instagram. Oh, and follow us on Instagram because we want to grow our channel there. That's going to be a great place for us to grow the community together. That's going to kind of be the goal of that, is just give a place for me to share some more quick interactive stuff that we're doing and give a place for you guys to be able to talk and interact with me. So go check out the Instagram. I've got it's either it'll be linked down in the description. It's also in my bio. I'm sure I'll put the tag up here somewhere. And with that, that's going to do it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Oh, I am sick. I've been sick all week. I'm really tired of being snotty. It just sucks. And I'm really glad I'm not hunting this week because there's nothing worse than being just snot in the tree stand and then suddenly, blowing your nose or something and then deer blows behind you and then you just gotta sit. Anyways, that's all.